Hello and welcome to Work Ready Oklahoma. We appreciate you registering for this very short information session where we will share everything that you will need to know about Work Ready Oklahoma, how to qualify, and whether or not you meet the criteria. Work Ready Oklahoma helps the long-term unemployed. And before we begin, my name is Cresha Redus. I am the Partner Engagement Manager for the program. We are in Bricktown in Oklahoma City, and we have been working this program since 2014, and I'll tell you more about that here in a few. Before we get into Work Ready Oklahoma, I want you to know about the nonprofit, which is It's My Community. The mission is to develop and expand efforts to strengthen communities by building strong, healthy families. So what we do is we find funding, state and federal, to fill those gaps and to fit that mission. So Work Ready Oklahoma is one of those programs. It's one of the largest programs. We also have Reading Explorers, where we go into one of the elementary schools and mentor first and third graders in their reading. We also have Count Me In for Kids, where we step into the process prior to a child having to be taken away into foster care or DHS custody. We have temporary families that will help in a temporary situation, connecting with the family, with the kids, and making sure the kids get back to that family. So if you want more information about It's My Community, the website is there on the screen, itsmycommunity.org. And once again, this nonprofit has been in Oklahoma City since 2003, and we are a strategic partner with Public Strategies. So back to Work Ready Oklahoma, we are very glad that you signed up to learn more about what we do. We're excited about this program that is a statewide program, and it's designed to last until 2018. And so you're on this webinar to learn more about how it can benefit you and your career, how eligibility works, and again, to see if you qualify for the great services and all that the program offers. And on your screen, it says you will meet with Work Ready Oklahoma staff. That is if you were in person. And also we provide LinkedIn headshots if you were in person. So please disregard that. And really quick, if you have a LinkedIn page, this is something that we really believe in strongly because it's the largest network on social media. It's a professional network, and it's designed to build relationships and connect with opportunities. So we believe it's a really great opportunity for you to network online. And so if you have a LinkedIn page, great. If you do not, I highly encourage you to get a LinkedIn page, and you will see more resources available, and we'll talk about that later. All right, so once again, you're here to learn about the free services that Work Ready Oklahoma provides. It is for long-term unemployed as well as long-term underemployed individuals. It is funded by the U.S. Department of Labor, and its basic design is to provide educational opportunities, training and support related to employment in the middle to high-skilled occupations. So this is not a program designed to help those who are just now entering into the workforce. This is for those who have been in the workforce, they're professionals, and for whatever reason they have lost their job, whether it's fired, laid off, etc. So again, I mentioned it's statewide, and it will end in 2018. So what kind of services does this program provide? I mentioned earlier training and education opportunities. What that looks like is targeted skill building workshops. So that includes LinkedIn. We're currently working on providing LinkedIn workshop, but we also have interview skills and resume writing and other workshops available. But one of the biggest things that we do that I really get excited about is degree completion and certification programs. So what that means is if you are at a point where you are about to complete your degree and you need assistance with your tuition, we can help with that. The challenge right now, though, at this time, since the closes October 2018, you would need to complete your degree by October 2018. So if your program fits this time frame, then that will work. The certification programs are for industry-recognized credentials. So, for example, if you're an engineer and you would like to get your project management professional, your PMP, that's something that we can help with if you apply and you qualify for our program. Same thing with IT and computer certifications, even nursing licenses, any industry valued credential that matches the industries we serve, we can possibly help pay for those programs. Another really great service that this program provides is individualized assistance. We have what we call career coaches that will help the individual with their focused career plan. So once that you come into the program, you will be assigned a career coach that will work with you throughout your process and what the needs that you have. We also have an employment coach that will be assigned to you, so you can think of it as a team that is connected with you to help you along your path. The other really good benefit is wraparound support to reduce barriers. That means that if you are unemployed long term, that means life kind of happens, and you may come across some situations that you may not be able to handle due to lower income or no income. And so we can step in and help with some of those barriers. They may include things like relocation, as long as you're in the state of Oklahoma, child care. Again, we mentioned tuition assistance and education assistance, transportation assistance. We've helped with food. We've helped with uniforms, different things like that that may stop you from moving to the next level. We can help with those. And that's where you would talk with your career coach and expose all of those needs there. We also, with our employment coach and our employment team, they help you with talent evaluation, and that's where while you're searching for a job and networking, they will do the same thing right alongside with you. But they also help you break down barriers in those areas in how you search for a job, because things are different. They change quite a bit, especially with social media. So there's a lot that goes into the intensive coaching and other ways to help you evaluate what you can do and what employers have jobs available. So that's the other thing. The employment development team connects with employers, so they already have established relationships with those employers in the industries that we serve, and we'll talk about those industries. All right, so let's define what Department of Labor deems as long-term unemployed and underemployed. So long-term unemployed are those who have been unemployed for 27 weeks or more, and that kind of hovers around the 6-month mark. Unemployed is defined as those who have experienced a job loss 27 weeks ago or more and are either currently working part-time or working full-time at a job below their skill, income, or education level. So an example is, once again, an engineer who may have gotten laid off and is out of work for 27 weeks or more, or an engineer who have gotten laid off and is working at, let's say, Hobby Lobby, 7-Eleven, or retail just to bring in funds until that job comes through. So that's an extreme example, but I believe you get the picture. So we want to help everyone, but we have to abide by the definitions and the criteria of Department of Labor. So let's talk about who can benefit from this program. You will benefit if you have been unemployed, once again, for 6 months or more, or if you have been underemployed for 6 months or more after losing your job, and you want to return to work or advance in your career in one of the following industries. And I want to point out, when I say 27 weeks or 6 months, that means 27 consecutive weeks. And then the job loss has to occur no earlier than December 1st, 2007. So we're talking about after December 1st, 2007, if you have experienced a job loss anytime between then and now, and you're out of work for 27 consecutive weeks, you may qualify and benefit from this program. So I've been talking about industries that we serve, and I'd like to introduce those now. They are management, business and financial services, education teaching, IT computers, healthcare, architecture, and engineering. And so now I'd like to ask if you have experienced educational background in one or more of these areas. If you do, you could qualify for this program. If you have questions about anything that I've mentioned up to this point, feel free to email us at events@workreadyoklahoma.com, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. So let's take a closer look at the industry served in our program. And what I want to point out once again is that we serve the middle to high skilled positions. And I'm going to give you examples of those positions for each industry. This is not a complete list. These are just examples to give you an idea, because this is not an entry-level program. We don't serve entry-level positions. So for management, I have 4 examples here, and I'll kind of go through these slides pretty quickly as you can read these slides on your own. So these are examples for management. Moving on to business and finance services. I have 3 examples for that one, for that industry. When it comes to education and teaching, we only focus on the elementary through secondary school teachers. And what we've done in the past for teachers is we've paid for a whole cohort of teachers to go to the UCO to get their master's in education, and then we've helped place them in different school districts around the area, especially Oklahoma City Public Schools, due to the teacher shortage. So we've been a solution to that problem for some time now. IT computers, I have 4 examples. And then healthcare, 3 examples of the kind of middle to high skilled occupations that we serve. And then last but not least is architecture and engineering with 4 examples. And this concludes the overall picture of the industries that we serve in our program. So once again, if you have questions, please email events@workreadyoklahoma.com, and we'll be happy to answer your questions. Now let's take a look at eligibility criteria. And for those of you, if you would like to get a pen and paper, we're going to take you through an eligibility tool here pretty quickly, so you'll need something to write with. Before we go there, I do want to point out once again that Department of Labor does have specific criteria to determine who is eligible. The staff here would love to approve anyone who's unemployed, but you have to be eligible for this program. And what usually happens is the majority of people are not eligible just based on the length of unemployment alone. So if you've been unemployed for 3 months, you are not eligible until you're unemployed for 27 consecutive weeks. And we always say we don't want you to be in that situation at that time. But if you are, we are here to see if we can help you. And then if you don't qualify, I'll have a list of resources available that may benefit you. And I do want to point out that we have had more than 2,000 apply for our program since 2014. And so far we've been able to approve about 425 at this point, which is around a 21% approval rating. And we believe that's due to maybe our messaging or the way people are understanding the information that we're putting out there. What happens is we have lots of partners and organizations that refer people to our program. And what we always say is we would rather you apply so that we can determine if you qualify or not, rather than our partners or other organizations who may not understand our program as well as we do. So that's one of the reasons why the rate is what it is. But we do try to approve as many people as we can that matches the Department of Labor's specific criteria. All right, so this would be a question if you were in person. We try to get an idea of how many months you've been unemployed. And then let's talk about the program eligibility and what it takes to qualify for our services. And if I didn't mention it, obviously our services are free, but I wanted to make sure that's pointed out as well. To qualify, you must be 18 years of age or older. You must be legally eligible to work in the U.S. You must have a high school diploma or equivalent. You must have some post-secondary education, some college credits, or work experience in one or more of the industries that we talked about earlier. And of course, you must be considered long-term unemployed or long-term underemployed. Okay, so it is time now to find the eligibility tool that you should have access to. And I want you to click on that and kind of tally in your head or use your pen and paper to learn what your total score is. But what we want to do is go through each question so that you can see the kind of documentation that we require. And then toward the end, when you tally your score, we can talk about what that means then. So if you're ready to get started, just want to point out quickly that obviously we're not going to see this tool. This is for you to help you know where you are on the scale of qualifying or not. And please follow along with the presentation to go through this worksheet. All right, question number 1 is simple enough. Are you 18 years of age or older? And you would mark yes on the side, which is a value of 1. And then the documentation required for this is simply a driver's license. If you don't have a driver's license, we would need passport or military ID. Number 2 is, are you legally able to work in the U.S.? And if you answer yes, your value is 1, and we would need 1 or more of the 4 listed documentation pieces on your screen. Next is employment loss. And on this one, we want to know what your specific situation is. So you have A through C, starts off, I lost my permanent job 6 months or 6 or more months ago. And then choose the one that best fits your situation. And so whatever you choose, move the value over to the right. But 1 through 3 is I lost my job, 6 months or more. D is I lost my permanent job less than 6 months, which is why the value is 1. And then if none of the above apply, the value is 0. If you do answer on A through D, we do need documentation. So if you were terminated from your past employer, we would need a letter of termination. If you're currently on employment insurance, we would need that documentation. If you feel like you are, you meet the definition for underemployed, we would need information to document that as well, such as job descriptions. All right. Next is your education level. So we do need to know what your highest level of education is that you've completed. So circle your value and move it over to the right, or tally it up if you're doing this on paper. And then what's listed is your supporting documentation that we will require for your education, highest level of education completed. And last on this eligibility tool is industry expertise. So answer this based on your education and professional work experience as it relates to the industries listed there. So you can circle as many industries listed in which you have experience or education, but your value will still be 2. So, and then go ahead and answer number 6, and then tally your score. And while you're tallying your score, I do want to mention the other resources available to you, and most of them are about LinkedIn, and I highly encourage you to click on, download, print these documents. One is about getting started on LinkedIn. If you're not on LinkedIn, we hope that you do get started, so there's a document to help you do that. Another one is how to conduct essential employer research on LinkedIn, employer research. So this is really good information to search for those employers that fit the industry, which matches your career. And then there's a Become a LinkedIn All-Star. So if you're already on LinkedIn and you have a page, read this document that will help you gain more opportunities. If you become a LinkedIn All-Star, that means you get connected with those who fit your plan, your career plan. And it's based on your summary, it's based on a picture, based on the keywords that you place in your description. It's a very profitable tool. So once again, we highly encourage you to become an all-star on LinkedIn. We also have books, a list of books here that are our favorite resources. So while you're looking for a job, these books are very valuable during that process and while you're in that season. And last but not least, once again, is our program. There's a colorful brochure, and it basically explains everything that I'm talking about on this webinar. So you can read through that or share it with someone you know who may be in the same situation. So by now you've tallied your score. And once again, if you have any questions, you can email us at events@workradiooklahoma.com, and we'll be happy to help. You can also call us at 405-418-4923. So let's talk about your score. Was it between 1 and 5? Or was it 6 or above? And what does that mean? First, if it's between 1 and 5, you may not qualify for a program, but if you have questions about the reason why, or if you have a very specific situation that eligibility tool did not help you with, feel free to email or call us. On your screen right now are resources available to you, and the Oklahoma Employment Security Commission has several programs that can help with free training, free on-the-job training, where you can gain experience. Also, if you're a veteran, I'm sure you know about Veteran Affairs. And then I just want to encourage you to go to the industry, whatever your industry is that you're focusing on, go to those websites, find job boards, and connect with professional organizations. And for those who have scored 6 and above, we want you to go ahead and apply. So applying is the very first step, and I'll go through the process really quick. Once you apply, it's a 5-minute application process. We will get your application. It will ask you to upload your resume, so be sure and have that ready to upload. If not, we'll connect with you to retrieve that resume. Once that happens, you will either get an email that will say, it looks like you could be approved for this program, but we need more information, so we'll ask you to set up an appointment to come in to meet with a career coach for about an hour. And with that appointment, you would need to bring a list of documentation, which I kind of shared with you some of the things that we would need. So once that interview takes place, after that, the approval committee will meet and determine and make the final determination as to whether or not you're approved. If you're approved, at that point, you'll come in for an orientation. So once that's done, you will start to receive the services that fit your specific needs. And this is not a cookie cutter type program, so every single person that we've approved in this program is totally different. So your situation is unique, which is why we need so much information. So please go ahead and apply. And the website again is apply.workreadyoklahoma.com, and we ask that you mention that you heard about this through a webinar. That will be helpful. And then once again, if you have questions, email us at events@workreadyoklahoma.com or call us at 405-418-3923. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a great day.